Right. Well, welcome everybody. It's nice to have you part of the session. It's been a couple of months since we've had this conversation. And why? Well, there's been a few changes. Well, for one, here at eXp, we've gone and updated our actual our learning management system, our actual listing platform system. So we've moved from one platform to something local. We've moved over to PropCon. Now, in order to do that, there was a lot of changes that had to come into play. It had a ripple effect right across all our different systems and tools. One of them was a system that so many agents actually absolutely fell in love with because of its simplicity of actually being able to take a listing and then just going click, click, and away you go into this particular sphere that we're going to talk about. That migration, well, it's finally here. So joining me today is the guy that's always been in these particular calls. It's Felix. Felix, from an absolutely fantastic Northern Hemisphere, how are you doing and how was your festive break, if you had one?
Yeah, I was having one, so I was also lucky to have some days for me. But also some customers were calling me on the Christmas day. So
You know, it's one of those
I
things when we have,
was not
when
able
you
to cut it.
Yeah, well, once you've got a system that is so fantastic, people are going, hey, I just cannot wait. I have to do it today. And I think for some of them, it might have even been a bit of a Christmas present, unraveling it just to have a conversation with Felix on Christmas Day. So let's actually take it back to the beginning. PropNow. Who is PropNow? What is the story behind PropNow? And how did you actually get to the point of where we're at right now? So give us that update.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, as you can see, our PropNow is a brand of auction tech. And on the name, you can see we are coming out of the auction branch. So we have beforehand, or in the former company, we have made more than 110,000 auctions, mainly in the arts and luxury segments. And in 2020, we have seen that there are many same things which are happening by finding a price for real estate, and so we have changed into this market. So we have created PropNow for giving more transparency to the buyers and also to the sellers. And we are creating out of this a really good opportunity for you to improve your results. So to improve, the prices of the real estate objects which you are selling. So in the direction of the seller, we are doing a lot, and into the direction of the buyer also. And we're giving also you more efficiency with that. And we're giving you a very nice digital way to create and collect offers. And because we have seen that, out of that, we have created PropNow. And so we are also today here. We have started in Austria, mainly in the EMEA, so Germany, Switzerland, as I'm from Berlin. So, and but now we are also available in Italy, in Spain, and also for you guys in South Africa.
Fantastic. And what amazing growth. You've seen something that came from the auction platform, selling luxury goods and so forth. And suddenly you get to realize, well, there's one luxury good that has the high value, and the space is there for it, which is property. So moving into that particular property space is actually been quite a growth, would you say, for yourself? Is it something very different to the luxury items, or is it pretty much exactly the same? It's just another tangible item going through a process. What has been your experience with that transition?
Price findings and also statistics and so on. So how the development of the pricing is and so on are literally the same. Because it's a process, right? So where we can find a real good price, there's a transparency that someone else can see, okay, there's someone else who's paying a little bit more. Because of that, I'm paying 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, depends on which level we are of the properties, 1,000 rands more. So then I go the next step also, because I would like to have this property, and because of 15,000 rand, I will not let it away.
Absolutely. So here's just one thing to clarify for everyone that's actually watching this. Now, as much as this came from an auction platform, and we're using the auction systems and tools to actually go ahead and create what we call a bidding war, I want you to remove the idea that this is solely an auction platform. You see, when we're auctioning off any properties, the commission gets added on afterwards. Now, this is not the case within iBid. What happens in iBid is it actually creates a bidding environment around your buyers, and the commission is part of the selling price. So there's a very big difference, and you need to separate the two of them. Don't fall into the gap of selling this concept of, hey, we're going to put your property on auction. Because for many people, they see that, especially in the South African market, as a discounted property, and it doesn't create the right audience. This is a platform where you have to create the buyer's interest and bring them into the actual platform. And that's what we're going to go through to see how you're actually doing it. Now, the second part of this that you really need to understand is the laws of South Africa states that we have to sign our documents with wet ink. So yes, this is through a digital platform. Yes, we are creating digital offer to purchasers, which Felix has said a number of times, we hold the Guinness Book of Records for the most amount of pages for an offer to purchase. But at the end of the day, it still needs to be signed with wet ink. If it's not signed with wet ink, it can be rejected. So please remember this. This is just an easier way, an easier process for your buyers to have that interaction. And then lastly, I mentioned that you have to create the buyer interest. This is something that you have to have buyers that are interested in the property, and you invite them into the property itself, into this bidding platform. So how do you do that? Well, you need to do things like first marketing the property, getting an audience that becomes interested in the property, taking buyers through show days and open hours where they get to see the property and then inviting them. And lastly, it's working with existing buyers. So you need to have that buyer's database. When you've got that buyer's database, you start to invite them into the actual platform. And from there, well, then the magic happens. It's the most amazing thing that actually happens with every single buyer. And I've been through this particular process, not actually buying a property, but my heart rate starts to go up because as soon as I put in a bid, I'm waiting for the next person. And someone puts a bid in, my heart rate goes up because I've lost it. And this creates another level of emotion when we're actually coming to sell a property. It's something that is very difficult with you as an agent to create that emotion to put or bring the price up. If you list it for $1 million, how do you get them to 1.1? The only way you get them there is through emotions. And I've come across very few agents in the world that are actually able to do that through a conversation. But through the iBid platform, it actually does it for you. So, Felix, I know that you've gone through this transition. You've now created the integration through to PropCon. Let's start having a look at, well, how do we actually do that? How do we move from the PropCon platform into the iBid platform? Where is that little icon? Where is that little button that we press so that we can actually know how to do this?
I will show that in some seconds, but beforehand, I would also ask all of you to share your email address,
Oh,
please,
yes, of
into the
course.
chat. Yeah, so then you can experience that by yourself, how to place an offer, how that is feeling, and I will invite you at the step when I've created the iBid, and then you can see and test it, and you can really feel it. and also you can explain it much more better if you have played through that. So it would be nice if you can share your email address, all of us.
Absolutely. And it's been nearly 3 months since we had our last session. And I actually totally forgot about that. Totally forgot about all you guys adding in your email address. So, Felix, thanks for adding that in. So, I'm just going to do the normal filler just so that we can get all those in so that you can do the copy and the paste. German ingenuity. He's able to multitask with the third arm, which you cannot see, that comes out the rear end of his back just below his head, which is it's connected straight to the brain. I may or may not post edit this, by the way. Just depends on how I feel. But definitely, please add your email address into the actual chat box, because what's going to happen is Felix is going to go through this particular process and he is going to use you as the buyers. So please make sure that you put your email address. And once it actually gets that email into your mailbox, start following the process so that you can actually explain this to both buyers and sellers how the process works. It's so much better when you've actually experienced it firsthand, instead of just watching a video and going, yes, I know it works like this. You push the, well, I can't remember that, but I know you got to fill in. No, I don't remember that. When you've actually done it yourself, you're going to find you're going to have a much higher level of being able to have those communications. Now, what's great about this is when you sit down with your seller to sell the concept, hey, by the way, we are wanting to put this into the iBid platform so that full transparency, you can actually see what's happening in the background, but you'll actually see this progress that's going through it. If you've not experienced it, it becomes very challenging for you to actually do it. So once you've gone through this particular process, and we're going to do it in this session, at the end, you're going to feel the emotions that I felt when I've been through, and I've been through it many times. You're going to feel that emotion, what a buyer feels like. You're also going to be able to explain to your seller. And why is it so important? Well, you need to make sure that you get a mandate that is signed with that particular seller so that you've got that exclusivity on the property and you can then start to market it in full steam ahead. And as you're going through this particular process, what you're going to find is you're going to see those buyers and, more importantly, those sellers raving over something that is unique, something that stands out over everybody else. This is something that only we have. So you need to keep this a secret, but you need to make sure that your sellers are well aware of it. Because once they have this positive experience, and we've had many success stories over the last year that we've been working with PropNow, it's these success stories that a seller loves to share. Hey, I listed my property with eXp. We listed at 900. We got a final offer of 1050. Hey, we listed our property with eXp at 1.6 million. We ended up with a 1.8 million final offer. We get over the asking price. It's this little technique, this little skill that is extremely difficult to try and master. It'll take years of experience to understand and how to read your particular buyers to get them up. But with this platform, it does it for you. You don't have to have that particular skill. You just need the tool. And once they start seeing this tool, they start getting into reacting with this tool, what you're going to find is you're going to start seeing more responses. And the great thing about it, you're going to close sales higher. You're going to earn more commission. And that's the key to all of this. Remember, your commission is a percentage of the selling price. It's no fixed prices. As soon as that deal is done and it's higher than the actual asking price, it means that you've actually inflated. And the great thing with that is your marketing changes. Instead of being the agent that says, hey, I'm able to sell properties at 92% of asking price, you can get into a stat where you're saying, hey, I'm selling properties at 107% of asking price. When you start doing that, you'll see more sellers looking at you and saying, hey, it means I can get more money for my property. And that's actually what we want. So make sure that you got your email address into the actual chat box. I've done the whole filler in of all of that over there. And I'm sure Felix is right down. He's got a number of them. And yeah, I could run out of words, but I will carry on with that. Felix, how are you going? Are you down to the last names, or he's still going? He's typing away there. Martin, this is where it's disappointing. I thought Martin would have stepped in and kind of copied these for you. But anyway, Martin, we'll still send you those best wishes. Go for it. How are we doing?
Perfect. Thank you, Stuart. Thanks for your words. So now we can start and look at that. Okay, Serena, we'll add you later, but you will always also be invited. So I will now share my screen with you. Then we have. So now you can see my PropCon, right? Perfect. Can't hear you, but I have heard that you said something, Stuart. Thank
yes,
you.
all good. I was muttered out. So yes, all good. Perfect. We can see it.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is how it looks like if you log in into your PropCon. And to start now an iBid, as Stuart said, it's very important that you have already marketed the property, that you have to or have done the viewings, maybe as an open house or as viewings in a row, that the people are closing the door behind each other, that they can see, okay, that's really a nice property, which is requested from the market. And if you would like to start now the iBid, then you click on you go on to your listings. And we have here this nice apartment in Borgersdorp. So there we will try to start now the iBid, and we click on open new tab. And now we have here also the contacts linked, which we would like to invite later on. So means these people have requested some information about the property, have made the viewing with you together, and then said, okay, wow, I really like this apartment in Borgersdorp, and I would like to place an offer for that. And because of that, we are starting now the iBid. It's very easy. We are clicking on share. So iBid is also there located where you put the property on Property 24 and on the other portals where you are collecting and finding interested people. And here you have also the row iBid, open an iBid. And if you click on one of these buttons, it's very easy, because then you are directly logged into iBid. And as you can see, we are synchronizing some details already. So we are directly in the beginning of creating the iBid here. We have here the first picture, the title, the object number, and I'm doing this now today in behalf of Travi. So I'm starting the iBid. And first of all, I'm preparing the data for the offer letter. So what we have here with iBid is also that we have the possibility to create the full eXp OTP, which is then used afterwards to sign in that ink. So we have here also some mandatory fields, as you can see. Yeah, the apartment, we have the title deed number, which we also later on need. We have also some other mandatory fields here, which I will now skip because as we are here into this demonstration, I'm not able to bring everything here in.
Oh, I absolutely love that. Dr. Hyslop's in the house.
Perfect. So we can fill in the conveyances, we can fill in the fixtures and fittings and everything, what is really, really important for this property, if this property is bonded. So all these things are later on then all on the OTP. You can click on next. And here we can also say it's a VAT liable purchase or not. We can here fill in the seller. and every information which we need from him later on for the OTP can be included. Can also, if there's a commission which is paid by the seller, then insert it here. And we can also fill here other descriptions and important informations. Here you can fill in, for example, a disclaimer or something which is really important, which you would like to share about the property and what the buyer should know before he placing an offer. So there could be some, I don't know, some conditions from the seller or from you, which can be filled in here. And then the buyer needs to confirm that before he can place an offer. I will show you that soon. Okay, here you can fill or upload some property documents, like, for example, the property description or something. Usually all these documents are already shared with the interested buyers, but if they are into the process of placing an offer, it's also nice that they can look into, for example, the description or the ground floor or the map floor or however, to feel again into this property and where they should place or will place an offer. So now I have pressed save. And as you can see, when I have filled in all the mandatory fields, I'm now in the selection of the type of offer process. What is used here, almost 100%, is the open offer process. Open offer process means that you are inviting people. They will be able to see the offers from the others, but for sure not their names. And then they can decide, okay, should I go above that or not? Usually this offer process is between 2 and 7 days long, because most offers are placed at the end. So most offers are also every time placed into the last hour. So if you invite the people and at the first day or at the second day nothing is happening, don't be scared or don't be feared, because as said, 55% of the offers are placed into the last hour. And what we also have, we have a feature included for making it possible that everyone is able to place his highest offer at the end. So means if someone is placing an offer into the last 15 minutes, the offer process will be extended from this point on another 15 minutes. So means if you have said, okay, Sunday at 6 o'clock it will end, someone is placing an offer 5 minutes to 6, then the offer process is extended to 10 minutes after 6. And through that, we are giving everyone the possibility to think about it. Okay, someone else has placed another offer, and should I go above that or not? So most of the times here are the most development or the most offers placed. So for example, Manu is using this very often, Tyrannus is using this often, Michael Hitchcock, and they have all received very, very good results of that. So as said, we are going through the open offer process. I will click on the tile, and here I can fill in the date of starting the offer period. So means I could also delay a little bit. So I could invite today and then start the open bidding time. Sorry. So, and then start the bidding time delayed, but I can also start it directly right now. And then I will do an offer process until Sunday at 6 o'clock. Below that, we have the validity of the purchase offers. Usually I'm saying that the agents should use here 1 or 2 weeks. And then we fill in the starting price. The starting price is usually the price with which you have marketed the property on Property24, for example. You can also fill in their information that at the end of the viewing time, or into the description, into the ad of the property on Property24, that at the end of the viewing time, there will be an iBid, digital offer process to place your offer. And then we can use here this 1.2 million. Below that, we have the minimum offer increase. There we're suggesting some steps, and these are also dynamic. So means if I would have here a property for 3.2, then for sure the minimum increments are higher. And if I go below that, then the minimum increments are lower, which also means that the interested buyers are able to place higher offers than that. But at minimum, for example, now 10,000 rand must be the next step. So I open the round now. And now I have created the property in iBid. I have created the round, so means when it starts, the starting price and so on. And now I have to invite the people. And as said, I have now the possibility, these link contacts to invite. So means I can also here invite, there we have to click import from CRM system. And now I can see here my 2 possible buyers. And I just can easily click invite. And now I have here the customer names. So it means I'm as a buyer have been now invited. And I'm receiving an email and an SMS. And first of all, I will show you how to place an offer on my screen. And afterwards, I will invite you all that you can place your offers. So I have changed now into the customer view, so into the buyer view. And I have received an invitation to the iBid process. Here are all the information. So here's the property, about which is the process going. We have here when it's starting, when it's ending. We have here also the explanation about the last 15 minutes extension. And you need to make sure also that the people are aware that all the offers have been or will be confirmed by an SMS code, which you will receive then by your mobile. And below that, you will be as the agent here stated. So I'm clicking now, go to the digital offer process. I'm again introduced into that. And now I need to fill in all my mandatory details. I could also add another buyer if I would like to buy together with my spouse, for example. Then I click on continue. Here we have the property documents, which I have uploaded. I can download them, but I need to confirm that I have received and read them. Privacy policy for sure. And here I have my test condition. And if I don't confirm that, I will not be able to continue. Purchase price in the beginning will be 1.2 million. This is the start price. I could also start a little bit higher if I would like to, but for example, the mistake of taking another 0 is not possible. And then I have to say, okay, did you physically visit the property before submitting this offer? If I say no, then I can say I want to purchase this property sight unseen. I can fill in all the things about the financing, about the sale of own property, about other conditions, and so on. So it's basically all like you have it in your usual OTP. Every time I have to click continue. And now I can see here the full eXp South African OTP. At this stage, it's not possible for the buyer to see the seller for sure. So now to confirm that I have received the SMS, submit my purchase offer, and now I'm the highest bidder. Later on, I can see here more people. I'm receiving also an email and an SMS as a confirmation that I have placed my offer. So and now I will invite you. As far as I have not all of you into my PropCon, I have created a CSV file. So that's also possible. I just have to map that. And now you are there. So I hope I have not making any mistakes with your name. So I'm really sorry about that. Was not having so much time. So, but now you're all invited. So please look into your email address or email inbox and check if you have received that. And I will also add Serene now.
So do check your email. It does take a little while for it to come through, but it will come through. As soon as it lands on my page, I will share with you. And there's another one, Marianne, that's also come into the chat box. Fantastic. So Felix will add you in. There we go. Mine has just landed in my mailbox. So make sure that you're clicking on it. And as I said in the beginning, going through this particular process, remember, you're not buying a property, you're experiencing this firsthand. And it's experiencing this firsthand that makes all of the difference. So make sure that you click on that particular email. You'll see in the middle, it says, go to the digital offer process. Click on that, just follow the steps. It is a simple process, making sure that as you're going through it, you can explain this to your clients. So do look out. If something doesn't come into the actual email, do check into your spam. It should be cleared for most of us to go through, but just go through and you can then update all of that. And follow the process and have fun. So Felix, I see there's another one that's come into the chat box. So I think we're going to have a record. Let's make sure that we can blow this property out of the water. It's a great way of experiencing all of this. And one thing to note, when you're going through this process, please make sure that anything with a little star next to it, make sure that you fill in that box. It is so too often that we actually go through this process and then you say, hey, I can't go any further. Make sure that you have gone and done all of that. Filled in all of those little boxes. That's one of the biggest things out of that.
Yeah, perfect. Right. And if you have filled out the first page, then the status into the overview from your side is changing to in progress. Submitted is submitted the offer. Thank you. Thank you, Wesley.
And this is This is where your heart rate goes up because you think, oh, this is easy. I can fill this in. I put a price in, and then it gives you that wonderful screen. There's already an offer in place. And then suddenly Wesley is going, I'm winning. And he's feeling on top of the world. He's feeling like he has just bought the best thing since sliced cheese. And then all of a sudden, something happens. Suddenly, somebody else goes and puts in another offer. And then Wesley, as soon as you get that email, trust me, when you get that email, give me that emotional feeling that you're actually going to get. Because I know what it's like while I'm busy put it in. And hopefully it doesn't kick me out. There we go. Right, so Wesley, you just received an email. How do you feel? So go ahead and put everything into the actual system.
Yes.
Right.
So, and if you have placed an offer, then someone else is placing another higher offer, then you will receive an email like this, that someone has placed a higher offer than you. And if you would like to change that, or if you would like to increase that for you, then go to your offer. Then you don't need to fill in all the details again, just increase it, confirm it again with your SMS ton, and then you will be again the highest. So, and this is then also the process, how it's working. I will not increase now my offer because then I would kick some other people out. And for sure, if you are the agent, then you will receive also an email and an SMS that an offer has been placed. So you will be also notified. The interested buyer, which is outbid in this case, will be notified, and this is then how it works. So before some weeks, I was talking to a real estate agent, and he was telling me he was on holiday with his wife on Sunday evening, and then she was saying, "Okay, your mobile is pinging the whole time. Please check that. Maybe it's something important." And he was totally forgetting that he has started an offer process with us. But then he was really happy to see all the offers coming in. And yeah, it was a nice evening for them.
Absolutely. That must be fantastic. You know, this is one thing that's amazing about the platform. We use tools to help us. Just think if you're working with 5 buyers, all interested on one property. Now, under the laws of South Africa, we've got to get signatures with wet ink, which means getting in your car, going through to the local McDonald's to meet with the first particular buyer. The second buyer does not like McDonald's, so you've got to go to Mug and Bean. You go to Mug and Bean, and they say this is fantastic, and then they go and run up a bill, which costs not just 1 coffee, but it's 3 bottomless cups of hot chocolate and an espresso. Then from there, you decide to go through to the third buyer, and the third buyer wants you to meet them at their office, which is in the middle of town, and you're stuck in 1.5 hours of traffic. You then get there, you sign that third offer, and the fourth offer comes through and says, hey, we'll meet, and it's back at their house. Now, you've done all of this time, this traveling, that sounds like about 2 days of work. Where if you can put them into this iBid system, guess what? They can do it in the comfort of their home. They can have a simple conversation with you, and they can fill in this process. Can you see how this can benefit you? So, Felix, the screen that you've got at the moment, I know that you said, some submitted, some invited, some in progress, some are prepped. Just go through that again so that we can actually get the insights as to what does each one of these actually mean as far as the invited, the submitted, the prepared, etc. Just give us a quick little overview again on those.
Yeah, for sure. So invited means that they have just received the invitation, but they have not filled in any information. For example, like Portia, she has filled out the first page already, then she has clicked continue, and now she's anywhere between confirming the price or requesting the SMS ton, for example. Here, prepared without ton from DAI means that she has already requested the ton and will confirm the offer hopefully soon. So these are the 4 statuses which we are having here. And what we have also here on the right-hand side, we have here a small envelope. And if you click on that, for example, by Stuart, you can see also all the informations and notifications which he has received. There. So overbid, submitted, invited, and that is what you can see here. And on the right-hand side, you can see also if he has opened that, if he has clicked on that, and so on. So there you are getting also many, many informations about the people which are attending. And as you can see, it's very, very easy to start, very easy to invite the people. And at the end, you will have also a very, very happy seller, because it's also possible to invite the seller into this process as he can attend the developing of the price of his property. So for that, you can click here above on bidding process, invite seller. And for sure, he will not be able to place his own offers, right? But he will receive an email with an track offer process link. And then he can click on that and he can attend on this dashboard how the development is working. And this is very useful because you can educate the seller about the real price of the property. Sometimes we have people which are asking for a moon price, right? So, and with that, we can show, okay, we have received a lot of offers. As you can see, for example, the most people have placed an offer until here 1.5. And then we have 2 people which are really fighting about this property. And therefore you can see, dear seller, these 2 people are bringing the extra cake or going the extra mile for this property, and the market price would be 1.5, for example. Or I have also agents which are inviting the seller into the office on Sunday evening, taking something to drink on the table, and then watching this dashboard like the final of a football game or a tennis game or something. Or last week, I was also hearing from an agent that he has invited the seller on his screen via an online meeting. Then they were watching this dashboard together. And while they were watching, they were already talking about, okay, next week we will go to the attorney, and then into 2 weeks we will handle the property over, and so on. So that's also very useful to get the next steps already planned.
So Felix, let's go back to that screen that has all the different invites submitted, because I know for many of us, we think, this is an automated process. But what you must remember, as a real estate professional, if I go and look through this and I see there's a number of them that have been invited, now they may have suddenly gone, hey, I've missed this email. So you want to increase the chances of more active buyers. So what do? Exactly what Felix has done. Click on that little icon and you can actually see, has it been processed? Have they opened it? Is there any errors that have come in? Resend them a particular invite, or maybe, which is even better, just give them a call. Hey, Sharon, how's it going? I sent you the invite. Did you receive it? Oh, sorry, Stuart, I missed it. Click on this. Let me resend it, and you can actually go ahead. So the big thing here is if you've brought in 15, 20 buyers, make sure they all move from invited through to the processing, and they start going through that process of just getting themselves onboarded. They may not want to put in an offer, but that's fine. As soon as they get into the system and they start filling in their details, what you're going to find is their emotion starts to kick in, and it increases your chances of them looking at it and going, but wait a minute, I've got the budget. I'm actually being pre-qualified for 1.8 million. It's only sitting at about 1.6. What do I do? And then you can actually start to work from there. As well as maybe you've put in a comma or you've put in the wrong email address. Maybe there was an error. Don't just assume everything is 100% correct. So use that as an opportunity so that you can go through and make sure that every single one of your clients, when they're invited, they go through that process. Now, the only way you can help them is if you've experienced it in the session. You've gone through it, you know what to do. Click on that, fill in your details, go to the next page, fill in those details. And as you're going through it, you'll see the process starting to change. And at the end of the day, the more active buyers you have, you're creating this pool of excitement. And it's this pool of excitement that starts to get it growing higher and higher and higher. So there we go, sending out those particular invitations for those that hasn't actually gone through. Right. So
Yeah,
this is one of the
definitely, as you said. So you have here so many informations about the people which are attending or which have said, okay, I would like to attend this process. Please get in touch with them and just ask them, okay, do you have any questions about the property before placing an offer? Or like Stuart said, did you receive? Perfect. Yeah, thank you for confirmation. Yeah, just ask them and make them attending the process.
Absolutely. The more people that you have active, it pushes the price up. And as you can see, we started at 1.2 million. We're now sitting at 1.7 million, 500,000 up, 41.7% above asking price. Remember when I said in the beginning, you don't want to be the agent that goes to market to say, hey, all my properties sell at 91% of asking price. You want to become that agent that says all my properties sell on average at 120% of asking price. When you start doing that, I start moving in your direction because people are going to say, well, how? How do you do that? And that's when you can say to a particular seller, hey, let me sit down and show you something. And then you can actually go through this particular process. So now, Felix, we're actually fast forwarding in our little time zone. We've hit, and it's now sitting at Sunday. I can't believe it's 6 o'clock. So excited. It looks like we're about to close this. Normally, this would automatically close. But for the purposes of this recording, what can we do?
Yeah, for sure. So usually, as you said, it ends automatically, also including the 15 minutes extension time and so on. So if someone is placing an offer in the last 15 minutes, then it's extended and again until no one is placing an offer into the last 15 minutes. And as Stuart said, we are almost at the end, so we will terminate this now manually. So this has not to be done from you because this is done then automatically. Sorry for all of them, which I have kicked out now, but we have to show how it's ending. And if the process has ended, everyone who has placed an offer is receiving an email about the current highest offer, that the offers will now take it to the seller, and that you will talk with him, sorry, about that to choose the right buyer from his direction or from his meaning. And that is what you're receiving as a customer. And as an agent, you will receive a full overview of the full process. So means you can see here on the overview button, we are creating a full PDF file for you, which includes all the highest offers, which includes all the offers which have been placed, and which is also including the full OTP with everyone who was attending on this process. So it's always creating a little bit time, or taking a little bit time for creating it, because I think you have the biggest OTP which we are having in the system. And if it's created, then you can see here the full document.
So I'm going to add, while this is busy processing everything there, just to remember, this particular document has every single one of the offer to purchases included. So this is not a copy, paste, forward type of document. This is a document for yourself. You would need to extract or only have the winning bid offer sent through to the client, else they're going to see all of the different offers. So this is a great summary. Give us an overview of the summary here, Felix.
Yeah, for sure. So as said, these are the highest offers. These are all the offers which have been done. So here we have, for example, some people twice. So like Duncan, for example, was making more than one offer. So here you can see and tell also your seller, look at this, we have received so many offers for your property. So this is really the best price which we can receive for that. And as you can see here, all the offer to purchase. Here you are as an agent, here's the seller and Dr. Hyslop, and also the purchaser, in this case, Colin. And below that, we have also the signature lines. And this is what we have for all the people which have attended and which have placed an offer. So it's already done for you. And as Stuart said, now we need here the signature and wet ink to close the deal. So just in a second, we have all the OTPs for everyone who was attending.
There we go. So now you've got the simple process. You've been able to bring in, call it 18 different buyers. You've actually had 9 of them go through this offer process, which is a 50% success rate. You could have pushed it up a little bit more if I'd made all those particular phone calls. But ultimately, you started at 1.2 million. You ended at 1.7 million. I think that seller is going to be over the moon with excitement that they've gone through. So now you've gone through that process, and Felix, you obviously now want to send a notice through to the winning bid, and you want to give the rejections to the people that didn't get it. But do remember, we're sitting with a number of offers here. What you can do is also have backup offers. But we want to make sure that we do close out on a few of those other offers and give that winning offer just a notification so that they feel good. How do we do that?
Sorry?
We want to close this off so that we can actually tell the buyer who is the winning buyer and just give them that notification.
Mm-hmm. So this is also very easy. If you like to, we have here the sale wizard. So means here we can select the favorite buyer. We can also reject all offers, or we can start a new offer process. So if needed. To select the favorite buyer, we can also just click on it. Then usually the seller is taking the highest one, right? So he would take Colin. Then we can also fill in a message. So like, I will call you tomorrow at 14 o'clock. And then we can say, okay, all the other ones are rejected. For sure, I would like to have Portier and Duncan into the backend, because maybe Colin's financing will not go through, right? So then I could just click out here, Portier and Duncan. But to show you how it's looked like, I will also send you the rejection. And now Colin has received an email that he was chosen, and all the other people which have placed an offer, which have been rejected, are getting a nice email that the seller was deciding for someone else, and you can try to find another property with him or with the agent.
And there we go. The iBid system from start to finish. You get those properties, you load them into PropCon to make sure that is an active listing. Then go up to the top, that little share button, share, and when it opens up that screen, you'll see the iBid. Click on the iBid, go through the processes just to load it all in, making sure that you've completed all those details that are with the little asterisks. Save all that and then go to the open bidding process. Once you've done that, you invite those buyers and you then start to create this world. Now, this is something that's going to save you a huge amount of time, but also it's going to give you this tool to start getting those prices going up and up and up. So, Felix, I know that we are almost out of time. I want to open up for any kind of Q&A. If you've got any questions while Felix is here, or alternatively, I'm pretty sure Felix is going to pop into the actual chat box there we go. Get a Google Meeting invites so you can actually have a discussion with them, or an email address somehow to contact actual PropNow if you've got any questions in this process. But while we've still got a few more, if you want to ask questions, I have unmuted or opened up the mics. You can ask those questions, or alternatively, we're going to have this recording available for you very, very shortly so that you can rewatch and experience. We do repeat the session every single month. So we will go through this and you can actually have the experience. Di, go for it. You've got your hand up.
Hello, Stuart, and hello, Felix. Just want to check, what's the experience of using this platform on the higher priced, the more luxury kind of properties? Does it work?
Yeah, it's also working. So we have already sold properties up to 14 million euros. So I'm not sure how many rents that are, but
I should be so lucky.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I was not sure about which properties you were asking, right?
Can I add to that?
Sure.
Go for it, Mike.
Diane, in some interactions that I've had with Brad Neal in the Parks area of Joburg, he has used this quite extensively, and I would guess that would be a middle to sort of upper income area, Parkview, Parkwood, Parktown North, those kind of areas. He's been quite successful and has sold a number of properties through this method.
Thanks, Mike.
The secret is you have to have the buyers. You have to have that buyer audience. So you've got to put that actual marketing hat on to get those buyers in. And then once you've got more buyers, if you're only working with one buyer, well, they're not going to outbid themselves. But if you're sitting with 20 buyers that are very interested in this property, you can see how that emotion is going to start to push and it's going to start bubbling and that price will start to increase as you're going through. All right, definitely. Fantastic. Go for it, Mike.
Just a quick question, Felix. You showed us how to send the invitation to contacts that are already in PropCon. How do you do it with, let's say you're running this program initially versus doing a private tender or private treaty process up in advance? How would you send the invitation to someone that's not a contact on PropCon yet?
Well, that's done through the CSV import.
Or there's also the manual import. So right now this is deactivated because the process has run out, but there have been 3 options, which was called import CRM, so from PropCon, then manually, and there was this field like, it was looking a little bit like this, where you can
share your screen again.
Information. Sorry. I was thinking I was still doing it. So means here on the left-hand side, we have the invite button, right? Below the eXp iBid logo. And there have been 3 options. First was import CRM from PropCon. Second one, manually. And if you click on manually, then a window is opening almost looking like this by inviting the seller. And then you fill in here Stuart Hyslop at the eXp South Africa, and then invite, and then he's also into the list.
There we go. Got the thumbs up? There we go. Thanks, Mike. Right. So we have stepped over the actual hour mark. So Felix, I want to thank you so much for coming on to the session. I'm looking forward to doing this again. I will send out invites now that we know that everything in the back end is working nice and smoothly in the integrations. So I hope you enjoyed this particular session. And if you do have any more questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us, because we are more than willing to assist you so that you can get your next property sold quickly. Guys, from myself, Stuart, it's going to say cheers for now, and you have a fantastic week ahead.